The first flower I want to show you in the Poet's Garden is the wild violet. This is one that brings back some childhood memories of picking wild violets in our field and bringing them into my mom. And then fast forward to 2010, just after my daughter passed away, I found myself picking violets with my grandson, who was just 2 years old, in his backyard. And he held a bunch, and I said to him, "These are for Mama." And so they have some special meaning and will really bring back some memories for you too. So the dies, there's just 4. You've got a stem, and I cut my stem out of the watercolor paper by Spellbinders. And as you'll notice, these little calyx that come help hold up these delicate little blossoms. I've cut that out of 80-pound green cardstock. It's just the base, and you don't need to hand color them. And then here's the pieces for the little plate for the flower. You've got all 3 pieces there. And then it comes with a plate for leaves. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is color my stem. And I'm using Olos. So this is YG 8.5. It's called Fern. And again, I'm using that Spellbinders watercolor paper. Has a little bit more structure to it, a little firmer. If you don't have that, then I would cut 80-pound paper twice and glue the 2 stems together, so you've got a little bit of sturdiness to it. And then I take the YG 2.5, which is avocado, and go over it and give it kind of that yellowish green color. It also, you can see some shading. So I'm just going to do that on the front. Set these aside here. A little bit of shaping to this. You'll take your small ball stylus, and with the stem facing down, go ahead and just cup those little ends. And then this is for a stem, and what I do is, where's my other medium ball stylus? You can take and just press down so you get that rounded curve that will hold your bud. Wipe up the green here. Next, we're going to do the bud. Now I'm doing mine in the lavender colors, or the purple. This is called Lavender Jade. It's a lighter color. And then for a little bit of shading, this is B1.4 Wild Violet. So you've got, the color. So with a little bit of darker color, I'm just at the base of the bud here, giving it some depth. And then going over it with that lighter color, spreading out the, blending. The Olos are so moist that I don't have to do much coverage on the wrong side or the opposite side. Oh, I hear the wind chimes. It must be a little breezy out today. So that's it for those 3 pieces. The only other thing we're going to do, and you'll notice the nice thing about Olos is you can, take them apart here and put 2 colors together, so you can flip it back and forth, is what I've done. So I'm using a fine line pen and just adding a few little strokes to give it some detail. And then you'll want to bring in your molding pad And you can do these all right side up. You're going to take your loop tool. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit of texture there. Now, like I said, you'll notice on that stem, there's a place for the bud. The bud, I just use the 2 pieces. I don't use that middle piece. So we'll make that in just a second. So the only difference with the little bud, I am going to do them at the right side down. The bud or the blossom, I did it right side up. So take your loop tool. Oh, we're going to get squeaky. And just go ahead and shape it. Lightly press down. Don't press too hard on your loop tool. You'll break it. But you can get the results by just going over it several times. So you got a little bud, and here's the blossom. I'm going to bring in my dirty mat here. For your calyx, just go ahead and cup it just like that. I'm going to set it over here. I'm not going to do the bud right yet. So these are the 2 bat petals. And I'm just pinching them together as I take the tweezers and pinch around the base and roll down a bit. Oh, I've got, oops. Wait. Those are those. Oh, this one goes here, sorry. These are those 2 little side petals. So like the pansy, it's a 5-petal flower. And then you've got your main petal here. Now use your small ball stylus and just press down on the center of all these pieces. And you should get something like that. Now those 2 bat petals that come together, they're the little bit thicker ones. You can put a little bit of glue right on the base. And then, let's see if you can see this. So where you've got 2 points holding up there, go ahead and put those right in that area. And you're going to go ahead and so it should look just like that, kind of like, I don't know, mouse ears. And then you're going to do the little side pieces. And again, I'm just putting glue right in the center there. And again, I'm going to hold this up so you can see it a little better and set it right there. Now finally, this little petal, and it does help sometimes to bend this up a little bit, but you're going to put your glue right on that area, not too much on the petal itself, and then it goes right in the center. I like to build mine right on my card, so I've added it. But you can do it any way you want. So I think I'm going to put another little bunch up there. I've also put on the card here the peony, because that's going to come back. That's going to be re-released. And so anyone who's not had an opportunity or maybe want a second one, the peony will be available with this release as well. So I'm going to pull some of these up a bit. Just hold that down like that. So this one has the calyx on it. That's the one I just did. And I did that on the mat for you. But what I like to do is set these on the little stems, right on whatever I'm working on. This set will also have some quotes from poets and a couple other little sentiments that you can use. So I usually let that dry a bit, but this one, since we built this on the, I'm going to set that right in the center here. Okay, so I've gone ahead and filled this in. And now what I'm going to do is add a few little frills to the center. It's easier to take a plastic lid and dip your frills in that. I use the orange ones. I'll put a few in this lid here. This color is called orange juice, appropriately named. If you did the geraniums, you should have some orange ones because I use orange centers on my geraniums as well. There we go. Now we just have to add the bud and do some leaves. So the two pieces for the bud is the two petal ones. And all I do is kind of pinch these together using my tweezers and rolling it a bit. And I'm going to do the same to this one. Just pinching a little tighter and then rolling it. Let me, might help to also cup it in the center there. That brings it together quickly. And then again, I'm just going to use a little bit of glue. And that goes inside. Move my mat out of the way. And you can do another little roll just to tighten it up a bit. And what you want to do is, here, we're going to set this on this mat here, is on your little bud here, I want you to lift it up and paint underneath with the glue. I'm using the Kids' Choice on this. It'll dry, fairly quickly, and it dries clear, so it makes for a good glue to use. Then I'm going to dip this one also in some glue. Set it here and just, I'm going to turn it so I can pinch this one. There. So there you've got your little buds and your flowers. Now we're going to add some leaves. I'm actually going to use 3 colors on this. This is the YG 8.7, and just at the base, you want to add a little bit of the darker color, and then flip your pen over and use the YG 8.5. Now I'm only doing that on this one side because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. Just like the stem, I'm going to add some of that YG 2.5. So that's what the front of it should look like. Then you're going to take the Y 2.5 and just go over it. give it a little bit of that yellowish green color like the stem had. And then you can flip them over and go ahead and do it on the back. As you see, it does, on my specialty cardstock, does come through, which is great because you end up not using as much ink. Then they're going to go right side down on our molding, our leaf pad here. I'm going to go down the center with my leaf tool using on the leaf pad here. If you let them dry a little bit. I didn't obviously do that, so you won't get that mark on your pad. But then I'm going to take this darker green. It's bright yellow green, extra dark. And I'm going to accentuate that stem line. And then even though there's embossed lines on here, I go over them again with my leaf tool just to make sure you really get that definition of the veining on your leaves. If you like, on the edges, you can take the lighter green, I think it's a yellowish green here, and just hit the edges with a little bit of that. It gives it some highlighting. So you're going to pinch first, and you could even roll it down a bit. And I'm going to tweak the end, just twist up on it. And then I'm going to add a little bit just to the edges, just like that. So here's our card. I've got some other leaves already made, besides the ones we just did. You can add as many leaves as you like. I'm going to take and just add a little bit of glue to the base. Lift up on my peony here and start adding some little leaves to my violets. You'll notice I've added one of the quotes is, "It takes courage to grow up and turn out to be who you really are," by E.E. Cummings. Very interesting person. He's a 20th century American poet, essayist, painter, a author, and a playwright. He wrote one of his first books when he was in an internment camp in World War I. He worked as an ambulance driver. He's known not to be as consistent of a poet. His style was a little bit different than most poets, but this is actually a quote. This isn't from any poem. That's probably enough leaves there. I can save this. Well, maybe I'll add one to this other side. But I think you'll enjoy this. This really, is kind of a very peaceful kind of garden. I'm going to raise that up a little bit and put another one. Sneak it in there. I can. There. Set those aside. Now the only thing we need to do is add our little ladybug or ladybird. So I'm going to put her right up here where you can see her. And I'll add a little bit of glaze to her. I think you'll like the violets. The wild violets will bring back memories and make for beautiful bouquets, either by themselves or try it with the peony. It adds quite an elegant look to it. So have fun making these.